I was in, of course, like being raised the way that I was raised, my dad being a missionary and stuff. So I had the opportunity to travel, internationally. And that was probably my favorite place to visit was, went to Mozambique, South Africa, and Zimbabwe. And I'll never forget, we were in Mozambique. We were staying with, my dad's ministry was focused like on rural and untouched areas, right? And so you've been to all these places and many of them. And so we were in this, like, staying in a tent behind this family's house. Their house was made of like rock and clay, right? The ground, even inside the house, was nothing more than compacted dirt. And I'll never forget, because the mom would literally wake up every day, would sweep, even though all she's sweeping
It's
is
dirt.
is dirt. But their daughter, was, oh gosh, she might have been like 2 years old, two and a half. She had malaria. And I remember, because at that time, my dad said that it's high likelihood that she may not make it because of having that illness. And so it's like, yeah, the need's huge.
What is it that, because I know it's like $38 can literally provide these. What is, when you, what goes into, what are you guys giving them to, if they have something like malaria, or if it's like any type of, most of the time it's malaria, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's how the Jesus Loves Me Children's Center kind of came about. In 2008, the organization was founded by Daryl Roberts, and he went over on a mission trip, just with his church. And he stumbled upon an orphanage that had just been kind of, the shelter had been blown away by a storm. There was 65 children that were kind of just sitting in deplorable conditions. And he just felt God said, these are your children now. And he formed a 501c3 before he even hit the ground back in home, and was already raising, donations and everything else. And by 2019, I started in 2016, and by 2019, I went over to live there for a spell. And as I was working close with the orphanages, malaria is something that was very prevalent there. And one little girl, her name was Teresa, and I was called by the mother of the orphanage, and she said, Teresa's been sick for a few days. She's had malaria. She doesn't seem to be improving. Can you come check on her? And in Liberia, the healthcare system is so broken. And she was at a bush clinic, and when I got there, it was just no bigger than 800 square feet building, no running water, no electricity. It was just children on iron beds lined in a room. And by the time I got to Teresa, she was just laying there, and the eyes wouldn't open, but she was still alive. So I picked her up, took her to Elwa Hospital, a hospital that was located in the city, and that I knew could provide health care to her. She fought for 11 days, but ended up, it went cerebral. So when malaria sets in, especially on young children, it can go to your brain and just shuts down your organs. And she ended up passing away. And prior to that, we didn't have a huge focus on healthcare in hospital. So we started partnering with ELWA and providing malnutrition supplements. And then we started, how can we bring this kind of healthcare to places remote, like Teresa, children that don't have access to it.
Yeah.
And it's a simple, 2-day, treatment. And it costs less than $5 to be treated. Like malaria is less than $5.
And can literally save lives.
And now they have vaccines now that are developed, and we're providing over 1,000 vaccines, malaria vaccines, to children in the surrounding areas. So the symptoms is not as hard on you. But yeah, it's not expensive. The $38 piece is at the Jesus Loves Me Children's Center is just the average cost, because there's so many different things we treat. Malaria is one of the lower end cost, but you have a child that comes in severely malnourished. They might need IVs. They might need plumpy nut supplements, malnutrition supplements. They could be there for a week or 2 weeks. There's measles cases. There's typhoid. The list goes on. Upper respiratory issues. So we have nurses. We have over 170 staff. So to do all that, it only takes $38 per child on average. But yeah, that's just a little bit of it.
What's it like being there? Like the emotional aspect of it, how do you do it? What's
This
it like?
is the same Teresa that you end up having to go back and like bury, right?
Right. Teresa was, I was green as far as a missionary. I'd travel back and forth to Liberia with Daryl, but I never lived there. So I had my family, had my boys there, my wife in tow. And after they gave me the news that Teresa had passed away, they also said, we don't have a mortuary here. and she's an orphan. You brought her in, you have to take her.
Oh my gosh.
So I had to, unfortunately, I had to load her up in the vehicle and then go traveling around Monrovia looking for a proper place to bury her and have a burial for her. And it was more shock than anything. It came out in different ways. Like I'm going home to hang out with my kids. They're being, you know, maybe they're doing some stuff that's irritating me, and my emotions are processing. I'm being angry with them and my wife because I can't process this new reality. But I mean, yeah, it's difficult. I mean, you've seen it, being with your dad.
It's hard to process, especially coming back stateside.
That's the hardest part of it, is being thrusted back and forth from the first world and third world. Being in my position, I've taken, 17 or 18 trips back and forth now. And it's just like, okay, one Monday I'm in a center watching a child pass away from something preventable. A little baby who it's easily could have had treatment. And then the next week I'm at a coffee shop, having to buy, someone $5 coffee to talk to them about this. Yeah. So it's a weird, confusing place to be in my head.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. That'd be extremely challenging. I was speaking actually with a friend this weekend, and we were talking about how our pastor has made this statement a few different times, but it's just the reality of the miracle that we all get to experience just being born here in the U.S., which is something we never asked for. We could have very well been, born in a different country. It's like we did nothing special to be here, and how fortunate we are, to be born and raised here. And then, of course, you think like, in Scripture, it's, you just think about, at least where my mind goes, to whom much is given, much is required. And it's like, we're here, we have the resources. And even if, many people that may think they don't, compared to that lifestyle, like there is no comparison. Right. We've seen it, but it's necessary, for us to do something about it, And Mike, you're stepping in, big goal, with a common mission here to try to help and do something about it. So what we got coming up here?
Well, yeah, I think Zach and I touched on this, and I guess it was almost a year ago, and it was kind of in passing and didn't really think much of it. And then there was a second, third conversation, and I've always used golf as more of like almost a selfish, like, I need me time. But I think primarily this year, really, as I've just not only worked on being more prevalent with my family, but, even in my hobbies, what is ways I can impact others. I started a hat company on literally not how well you play golf, but, the connection you have. We like, our motto is for the moments between shots, and what I mean by that is, I play a lot of golf, but I could tell you what I shot 2 weeks ago, but I always try to take something from that conversation with the people I'm playing with, and that's really the memories that I get from golf now. Is how can I connect with somebody, or how can I build on a friendship, and how can I use golf to maybe impact others instead of using it as it's selfish and me time, and I'm going to be away from my family. And so, when he approached me with this, I just thought it was almost a God thing of like, man, this is a way I could actually use golf, which is something I love to do, to raise awareness for something that is so much bigger than not only golf, but than myself. And so, it just kept kind of naturally growing, and then here we are a month out, and I'm ready to go. It's crazy. About a year ago, I was dealing with this thyroid issue where I had hyperthyroidism, or I don't know what the scientific term is for it, but I was staying up 2 to 3 days at a time. And through that, your up a lot. And so I had this crazy, what I thought was a dream. I'd get, literally I would get delirious. Like I would get into a state of like, am I dreaming or am I like conscious or what? But like, I had this like crazy God moment, like where I was in the living room, because I would go in the living room because I couldn't sleep. I was up for 2 to 3 days at a time because my levels were so high, like my metabolism would just keep pumping. And this worship, I don't know, man, I still can't find this song. It's crazy, but like you know how these, especially live, live performances of Christian, these songs, these worship songs can go on for like 12 minutes, right? But this lady kept coming in and going, listen. I'm like, man, this is God telling me something, because how I even got to that song was through Spotify, and I am like Team Apple. Like I use Apple Music, and I don't even know how I even got to it, but I'm like, I don't know what this thing, like I was like getting, like I could feel the Spirit like kind of like pressing again. I was like, man, I don't know what this is, but I'm turning it off and I'm going to just try to go to bed. And so I turned my phone off. Well, then it connected to the Bluetooth speaker in my living room, and it was like even louder. It was like, listen. It just kept saying, listen. I was like, okay. So I woke up my wife and I told her, I was like, this is crazy, but like, I feel like God's telling me to like have this conversation with you. And so like I told Nicole, I was like, I'm like tired of like living a life to where I feel like I have the nicest clothes and the nicest house, the nicest cars. Like I want to be able to make an impact to where I'm just an outgoing person. So I've been blessed with many friends, and just be able to use connections or my friendships to be able to do something that maybe God's calling me to do. I didn't know about the world record at the time, but it's funny. I say all that because it comes back to, is like, man, maybe this is something that at that moment God was preparing me for this, because I've got to stay up for 37 hours, but I'm like, man, I used to stay up for 60 plus hours. So 37 is, it's a long time to a lot of people, but I've been through it. I know what it's like, and this time I get to play golf doing it. So
Something you love.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. Like which we three have known each other for quite some time, right? Since high school. And all of our lives have changed pretty dramatically, as it does for anybody, right? Families, careers, and just the journeys we walk. But it's, to me, looking back, like over my journey over the past, 15, 20 years, it's like, if you just lean in with curiosity and you're just open to be willing to listen and just walk through the doors. It's like, everybody, look, I live in a career where what we do for a living is plan. We plan everything. We try to predict everything when it comes to someone's, financial journey in life. And so it's like, but sometimes if you can just be willing, like those things happen, right? And now all of a sudden you're taking something you're passionate about, and it's a skill set that God gave you. And then it's this opportunity in this ministry that's like the need is, beyond what just one person can do or one ministry can do. And it's like, okay, now we can tie these two things together with one purpose. And man, it's a game changer,
100%.
But you got to walk 37 hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It's,
I could make you walk more if I came and play golf with you. Because my ball never hits the fairway, and so you have to walk over here.
Oh no, I'll meet you at the green. No, it's definitely gonna be challenging. I was, kind of how I've been prepping for this is like, I'll walk like once a week. I'll walk a heavy set of miles, like 15 miles, just to kind of. But I don't necessarily have to walk fast, right? It's like slow pace, so it's like it's almost like, gosh, can we just get this over with? Because this takes forever walking this many miles.
Right.
But I think really 30, it's a lot, and it's going to be exhausting. But I think kind of what I've been doing training wise, I walk a lot. And then when I get really tired and mom and kids are in bed, I'll get up and go to a golf simulator and literally hit balls into a screen, and I'll see how many yards the ball went, and I would just walk around the building like that many steps, and then I'd come back and hit another shot. And so I did that for like 6 hours in the middle of the night the other night. And so it's definitely gonna be challenging, but you think about what you're doing it for and why you're doing it. I think that's motivating, obviously, and then two, just the support from the community. Just the call we had last week I was blown away about of how many people, one, were on that call, and two, like the people that were on the call. Like I was like, oh my gosh, that's Bree and her new baby, and Nicole's cousin. I haven't seen her in forever, and just seeing the names and the faces of it's not only something that I believe will be impactful for the mission, but other people believe it too, and I could see it on that. And so I know it's going to be exhausting, but to the not only what we're doing it for, but the people that are behind it, supporting it, that to me is like, I feel like I can get another 12 hours out of.
Oh yeah.
So it's something that is definitely going to be challenging, but it's nothing compared to why we're doing it for, and who we're doing it for, and the lives they have to live. And so to me, it's just doing it, getting to the point of doing it. I'm super excited, and just not starting off fast, right? Because I know my emotions will be high. I'll be super excited, and so it's just really about trying to pace myself and not swing as hard as I can at every single shot.
Well, yeah, like I do. But and I guess too, just having the seed in the back of your mind that's like, okay, any moment I get tired, I think, I'm sure if I'm you, I'm thinking one more, another. What did you say the statistic was on children that pass away in Africa from illnesses? Oftentimes that can be, what's the
every 10 seconds.
Every 10 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I just think anytime you get tired, that's got to be rolling through the back of your mind. It's like, you know what? One more hole. Like, why not?
We're going to create an environment, each hole, that has reminders of that. There'll be statistics at each hole. There'll be little motivators that will keep him going. We have transportation in Liberia for most people is by foot. If you have some money, you can get on a motorbike. But we have one of the only free children's health care in the entire country of Liberia. So we've had women walk with their sick babies in tow days to get to us. I mean, with flip-flops and the baby on their back. So again, Mike is a healthy man. It's going to be tough. It's still going to be tough, but he's going to have those things in the back of his mind.
He basically just said, you have no excuse. None.
Like if
that was
the biggest pressure now is like, if I don't do this, like collapse.
Well, just don't go there. It doesn't seem like it's an option.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
So give us some details about the day, the event, how it's kicking off, all that stuff.
Yeah. So first off, Live 2540, if you don't know who Live 2540 is, it's a nonprofit organization that provides quality and compassionate health care to children in Liberia, West Africa. We've been doing it since 2008. Recently, 2 years ago, we opened up the Jesus Loves Me Children's Center. We've since seen over 50,000 children, treated 50,000 children, inpatient and outpatient facility. So that's the why. That's the what we're doing in Liberia, and that's why we're having this event. The event itself is called The Record, and it's a twofold thing. It's, we want to break a world record. We want to see Mike go 37 hours of golf and just break, or however long he wants to, and break the world record of consecutive hours played golf. The second is to set the record straight for the children in Liberia about making healthcare accessible to children that are in great need. That's the core and the heart of why Live 2540 exists. And it's tough, Andrew, in a world that's busy and fast and distracting. You got to do things like break world records to kind of highlight the other records. So we try to get creative. We're not judging anyone. We all fall for it. I fall for the distraction sometimes and have to get back on course. No pun intended, but we're wanting to break records, but set records straight as well, and let people know that, hey, you can be a part of this life-changing organization. And it doesn't have to be, there's people can do everything. A lot of people think like, I'm not in the spot to give. It can be $25.40 is an option. It can be $25,000, 400. Depends on where you're at in your life. That's fine with us. But we just want to provide opportunities. So it's going to be June 28th, the record, at Cartersville Country Club. So we have a relationship with Jonathan Maddox up there at Cartersville Country Club. He's been a huge blessing in allowing us to come in and pull this off, because usually it's a day, tournament or something, but we're doing a unique 2-day experience where he's going to have to sacrifice some time, and he's allowing us to come in and kind of make up a little bit of our own rules to do this. So we're grateful for him. But June 28th is going to be 5 p.m. The family fun night starts. So we'll have bouncies, we'll have face painting, we'll have putting challenges, we'll have food for purchase. And then at 6 o'clock, we can all gather around and heckle Mike on the first tee box to get him launched off.
And that's open for anybody in the community that wants to come out and just enjoy and participate, feel involved.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be, hopefully a beautiful night. We'll have RSVP on our website just so we can get a head count, make sure we have enough food and space ready for you. But yeah, it's come on, come all.
That's it. Yeah. And kick off.
Kick off.
Yeah, I'll probably be most nervous over that first tee shot.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. And then, all right, so you get launched, you're started, there you go. And then from there, you're playing that first night. Now, people can, as a part of like the donation and the fundraising and stuff like that, people can actually come and play with Mike. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, so we have a sign-up genius that allows you to pick a slot, a time where you can play with Mike. So if you're obviously, if you're a friend of Mike, you're probably going to pick a midnight schedule rather than a stranger.
As you should. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. But if you want to play during the day with him, you can just pick up a slot and pick up a few holes with him.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think really that's what selfishly I need the most is just you think about obviously why we're doing it is the most important, but like there's going to be times where I don't know how. It gets really, really dark out there in the middle of the night. And so like, I know that, it's going to be a long 37 plus hours. So just having that availability to where I have, friends, family, sponsors to be able to come out and join me. And it's a sign up. Doesn't cost anything. Hopefully I've been told my friends at minimum just give $38. Like that's what that can save one child and provide the care that they need to save them from a preventable disease like malaria. And so getting that support and then not only having that, I guess that motivation from friends, family, just to be able to, but to hopefully get them to realize I almost feel bad that like my name and face are on this website because it's like, I don't want to be the reason that they're doing it is because it's me. I want them to, maybe that's how they got there. But then once they are there, they realize why we're doing it.
Right.
And like I've never been on a mission trip. I've never been out of the country to do anything. And I've told Zach, I was like, man, I really want to go and hopefully I get that opportunity to go to Liberia. But this is probably the closest thing that I've ever done to like, support something that's far bigger than myself. So it almost makes me feel a little bit bad that I'm the guinea pig doing this because I feel almost bad that it's like I'm the one doing it because I don't want it to be about me. I want people to get there, friends, family, and supporters, and then really be impacted about why we're doing it. And then really, I don't know what stage of life, income-wise, that anyone's in, but really to support the mission, right? Mm-hmm. And hopefully that's what they see with these, when they hear the message and they see the little motivational signs out there of truly what is going on. Like you just said earlier, we are so blessed to be born in a country where that's something we don't even think about. But hopefully while they're there, that is something that they will think about, and then they feel led to support.
To jump right in.
Yeah. And that's why I asked Mike to begin with to do this. There's plenty of people that can play golf, but everyone doesn't have that heart posture
Right.
towards wanting to do it for the why. And as I was saying, I've known you guys since high school. We probably didn't act. Hopefully, well, we've changed a lot. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
And that's been a blessing to be able to reconnect with old friends and talk about what Jesus has done in our lives and how He's transformed us. And being able to walk with Him the past few years, I just knew like there was something more there that God was calling us both into. And being in a men's group with Him, playing on a men's basketball team with Him, just hearing how He spoke and how He was seeking the Lord and what the Lord was, in return speaking back to Him was just cool. I was like, I don't know who else I would ask for this. So the thought of that popped in my mind of breaking a world record, using it as a campaign. And the next thought was Mike Woodard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's God just continuing to connect. And the next thought was, soon after was, hey, I wonder if Andrew can get us on his podcast.
No, right. Yeah.
Here we are. He continues to connect the pieces and all for His glory, not for ours. And that's why, because he's humbly confident. He's a connector. People love him. They'll come out to support it. And
That's a fact.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a fact. You are a connector, like a massive connector. You do it, and people do love you, Mike. It's going to be all the pieces. They just come together. You know.
You just listen.
So we have this golf record now. From a ministry perspective, do you guys even like put a number goal on this as far as donations, or is it just like open ended, or is there a target we're trying to hit?
Yeah, there's a target. We're at the largest part of our organization as far as the Jesus Loves Me Children's Center. It is as busy as it's ever been. Our first quarter of seeing patients this year was over 20,000. We did 25,000 in the entirety of last year, and we've already seen 20,000 this year. So we have over 173 staff on the ground that are carrying out this work.
Yeah.
They're doctors, they're nurses, they're lab techs, they're kitchen staff. We have a special needs home that's walking distance from the hospital that cares for 45 special needs children who had been abandoned. And there's a lot of pieces of this puzzle that keeps it going. So we set a goal of $150,000 for this event. And just because we need this for the salaries, we need this for the medications that go into this facility, it will just do amazing in helping us get this health care to the children.
And if I had to guess, it's endless. The more you help, the more that are going to continue to show up.
Sure. And that can be the negative side of missions and why people don't want to get behind it, right? I've had many conversations in this role over the last decade of, it's never going to be fixed. You're never going to cure it all. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But what hope is that? I had a God that came after me, and in return, He says, go after other people who are in need. So
is that not the point?
That's the point right there.
It's like, you don't worry. It's just, life is so short. So while you're here, just do what you can.
And I don't like to say hate, but I don't like putting numbers and financials to it. It's a part of the game, though, and so you have to say it. But yeah, it's just doing what you can. What is God calling you to do? How is God calling me to steward my money, you to steward yours? I mean, you're in the stewardship world. Like it's a tough thing to juggle.
Well, I can tell you, just from my experience, being that we work with reasonably wealthy, high net worth individuals and families on a daily basis. And I'd be 100% honest with you. What those people get is generosity.
Sure.
They understand it.
100%.
And they understand it because it's like they understood that it was a part. Now, whether or not they're a believer or a non-believer, these are people that believed that they were here for whatever reason, more than just to generate revenue, build a business, produce a product, manufacture, whatever. And they knew that to continue to grow, a part of that humility and willingness to give back, and then just the gratitude that comes with it, it gives you some purpose. A lot of these people get to a place in life where continuing to work is not a need anymore. And so they do it for, hiring staff members and helping the community and stuff like that. So I do believe that the ones that are strong financial stewards and they've been blessed with resources are oftentimes the ones that understood very early that giving and generosity is just a part of it.
Yeah.
Like it's a part of financial success, if you will. For many of our clients too, especially as the generation ages and reaches, ages of like 72 or older, they have all these different like requirements when it comes to how they distribute money from a IRS perspective. And one of the things that we have focused on is giving our clients multiple avenues to do just that, to do generous work with money that otherwise they were going to have to pay taxes on. And so it's like even if you're somebody who is, maybe whether you're attend a church, don't attend a church, whether you're a Christian, a non-Christian, but you see the need here with these little kids, and you want to make an impact. You don't have to just. There's money literally that these people are able to give, whether it's qualified charitable distributions. I mean, you take the money out yourself, you got to pay taxes on it. You gift it away, no one has to pay taxes on it. Like that's a win-win. Yeah. Who's going to steward the money better? Feed these kids, get them healthy, or give it to the government, right? There's nonprofits, 501c3s, family foundations, all different types of avenues, from tax strategy to just simply being generous and donating. Was it 20 some odd bucks a month you said earlier that provides for a kid or something like that?
$38
$38, like just something so small that even a startup family can do, which I was raised that way. My dad early on, he was in full-time missions, and we lived overseas for a little bit, and then we came back here, and he just was adamant that he did not want to take any income from the ministry. And so I remember as a kid, for the longest time I didn't know, but he would wake up at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, run a paper route to try to make money for us to live off of. And then he would turn around, and he was a pastor and ran Global Missions International. And then from there, as the ministry grew and as our family grew, he started selling insurance on the side. But he was adamant he would have to generate income elsewhere to try to make sure that as much revenue was able to pass through to missions. And I just remember growing up, and maybe it's just the way that I was wired, but he would always challenge me, even as a young father and husband. I'd be like, Dad, man, we're struggling. Like, I don't know where. And he'd always be like, are you giving? I'm like, what are you talking about? Giving what? Like, we're trying to put food on the table. He's like, I'm telling you, son, you got to have the fundamentals. For whatever reason, it makes sense. And so, I wouldn't be ashamed to talk about it, because I think that people need an opportunity to give. And sometimes there's a lot of people that, maybe the giving and the financials, it just kind of messes with them. But the reality is the ones that understand money, the ones that understand stewardship, they're the ones that also reach high levels of just efficiency and comfortability and just gratitude, contentment.
Yeah. And me and my wife, we were just talking about finances this past weekend, and we were just talking about how good it feels to give it away.
Yes.
And that's how we want it. We want to move further that way. And I remember hearing a pastor years ago say this, and I'll never forget it. And it sounds radical, but he's like, he said, I'm at the 80-20 phase. You usually taught to tithe 10%, save 10%, use the rest to live on. He says, by the end of my life, I hope I'm at that 20-80 stage, where I'm giving 80% of my stuff away. And it gives me chill bumps talking about it, because that's where I want to be. I just want to give it away. Because when you see the need in some of these people, and it could be locally, internationally, wherever you're at, there's no better way to use your money than to steward it in that way, and to just see someone's life changed by it.
It is. It's the gratitude and the contentment,
Yeah, and going back to like whether you're a believer or you're not, even in like our everyday life, I think just us as a country, I feel like you can go back in history, like the moments where we have come together as a country often come in times of tragedy, or whether it's a natural disaster or an attack, but like we unite, and the first thing I think we do as Americans is like, well, what can we do to help? And like you said, I think it's all like instilled in us in some form or fashion, and even stepping away from the spiritual side of tithes, but like people always want to get involved and give, and this country can, whether it's politics or beliefs or whatever that is, I think we all have one where we can all come together on something, and that is like supporting others, giving back. And it's just it's, to me, it's God just really putting it in our hearts. And for me, it's like you said, man, I'd love to be at a spot where it's 2080 one day.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing brings me greater joy to give back or to volunteer or whatever the scenario may be. Nothing brings me joy like doing that. And it's not to lift me up, but just to see the impact, whether it's giving to 2540 or whether it's just, volunteering at church or whatever the scenario may be. Like, you often, for me, it's like myself is just like, oh gosh, I don't want to have to volunteer on Sunday morning or Sunday night or whatever the scenario may be. But then you go and you're like, gosh, I'm so happy I did that. Or I'm so, and it just goes back to me is like what God makes, when he makes me feel uncomfortable, it's often when I get the most out of it. And so I'm excited to do it.
Oh yeah. And we got to get some support. So we need golfers to sign up,
Yeah.
donors, sponsors.
Yeah.
And if you're a golfer, like anywhere close by, this is a great opportunity.
100%.
Just to come and play for a cause, play for a purpose.
Yeah, and it goes back to like Cartersville Country Club, for them to be able to step out and provide
Oh yeah, that's
provide
awesome.
this course to us. One, it's a private club, so you're getting an opportunity to, if you do sign up to come play, you're playing an unbelievable golf course. And private clubs typically like to stay private. So going back to just the club itself and Jonathan and the team, like, man, when we approached him, I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go, but man, he was immediate, like, yes, what can we do? So it just says a lot about them as well, just to open this up to not only me breaking a world record, but to build a family fun night, to provide even his own staff to come out there with food and opening up the course. We could touch on that. There's actually a tournament too that Monday where sponsors can play in a scramble event to win prizes. Just the amount, like, we probably started this a little bit later than we could have, but the opportunity presented itself, and man, like the staff there, Jonathan, like it was pretty eye opening to me, like for them to not only do that, but then like, all right, well, what can we, not only, the course is yours, but what else can we do? Yeah. Says a lot about just our community. I think just that's why I love Cartersville as a whole. Is just it's growing, but it just feels like everyone is out to what can we do to support. So,
and what we'll be doing Family Fun Night, I forgot to mention this, but it'll be a key part of the night, is we're unveiling our first virtual reality experience. So I've been working with a videographer the past year, developing a way to go to Liberia without having to go to Liberia.
Oh, wow.
So that's been the hang up a lot of places here. Like, I wish I could go, but I can't. And I get it. Like, not everyone can just hop on a plane and travel 5,000 miles away to see the work. But technology, the good side of it is it's become creative, and now we can put headsets on and you can be on the edge of a bed in the hospital and walk around and experience it as if you were there. So it's about as close as you can get without being there. So we're excited to unveil that and show people what it's like.
Yeah, you bring that experience to them. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
It'll stir the hearts, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything else you want to mention?
I don't think so. I think we got it. We just appreciate you giving us your platform.
Well, I appreciate it too. But Mike, it's gonna be a good one, man.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
What's the is that tournament? Is the foursomes full? Are we still looking for?
Yeah,
I don't know if there's anything we need to touch on the.
And we'll definitely,
tournaments.
just so everybody knows, listening and also watching this on YouTube, you're going to see all the links pop up too to register. But so the foursome. So we basically, if you want to run through them, we have individuals that can play with Mike. Then we have a whole separate tournament,
right?
And then
So January or June 28th, it will be kicking off the Family Fun Night. That's when Mike tees off the next day, the 29th, we'll have a breakfast for the foursome, and it'll be a 4-man scramble, 17 4-person teams. They're for the sponsors only. So if you want to get in and become a sponsor, then you can get the rights to that.
Yep.
We couldn't make it a large tournament because Mike is going to, he's going to be playing through you
Right,
the whole time.
right.
So we can only do 17 foursomes. So we had to make it a little exclusive to sponsors only. So not everyone can just jump in on that, unfortunately. But if you want to become a sponsor, you can reach out to me and we can try to make that happen.
Yeah.
And then the separate link is going to be for signing up to play with Mike if you want to get an hour or two with him in the middle of the night with some glow balls, or during the day. It's up to you.
I saw that reel you put out with those glow balls. That's
Yeah.
pretty legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked that they
Me too.
glow that much.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
I saw Daryl snap hook into the left trees.
Yeah, I saw that too.
That was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need
I
something.
heard
I
your
need something
giggle. I
like
heard your
that
giggle
during
at the
the
end of it
day.
too. You go, ah. Is there anything like as far? What if you don't play golf? Or
Yeah,
what if
for
you don't
sure.
want to walk around? Is there a way that?
Yeah, if you're not even in Cartersville, if
Yeah.
you live somewhere else and you want to be involved in this, we created what we call the 25-40 challenge.
Yeah.
It's $25.40. We're just asking, do you want to commit to guessing, or however many holes you want to commit? So Mike's going to be playing for 37 hours. He could play 150 holes. Would you commit to a certain amount of holes and pay $25.40? So if you commit to 10 holes and he plays past 10, then you'll just make a donation of that. Just ways to get involved outside if you're not going to be around for Family Fun Night.
Why 25-40? Can you speak to that? Like,
Yeah,
what that
for
means?
sure. Live 2540 is based off Matthew 25:40. Whatever you've done unto the least of these, you've done unto me. We added live on top of it because that encourages us as an organization to live by that. I think it's easy to read those scriptures and not live those scriptures. So we try to live it out, and that can look like playing golf for 37 hours. That could look like going to Liberia for a couple of weeks. That could look like giving $25, however living Matthew 25:40 looks like in your life. So
Whatever it takes.
whatever it takes.
Yeah.
For him, for sure.
That's it. Well, Mike, man, good luck to you. We're going to be there, no doubt. As a matter of fact, I think I should just sign up all 3 of my boys.
Sign 'em
That'll
up.
confirm 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yes, might as well. And you need some people during the night.
Talk Ben into playing golf again.
Talk
too.
Benji to playing the golf again. Yeah, we'll proudly wear your hats. We'll support Live 2540. And yeah, I think the bigger purpose here, man, we just thank you so much for being
Yeah.
willing. And you don't have to worry about anything. Just let the Lord show up, do his thing. I know there's plenty of people out there that are ready for an opportunity to jump in. And when they see a need like this and how small, a small donation and how big the impact it is on the ground, I think it'll be there. I'm ready to see the Lord work in big ways. And so thank you too, man, so much
Thanks,
for all your work. So that's a wrap.
Thank you.